Welcome to the Lone Ranger Radio Show with Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage. Yes, I am the Lone Ranger, here broadcasting on 102.5 The Bone, also WDBO out of Orlando. Love my boners down in Tampa and all my WDBO friends in the Orlando area. I had some longtime listeners. I've been on the air for over 25 years. I've been in the mortgage business for 36 years. And man, it's just some crazy times. So today we're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about how to get into a home as a first-time home buyer, who's buying homes right now, why are investors jumping in the market so heavily, what's going on in the market right now with interest rates. So I want to get started on all of these topics, but I'm also going to go over some benefits. And I want to go over the pros and cons of Hometown Heroes, which is a great program by the state of Florida to help first responders, veterans, active military, nurses, teachers, heroes, they call them. So it's called Hometown Heroes. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But before we go too far, I want to just cover some things that are happening in the market, because at the end of the day, this week was not a great week in the bond market. I'm just going to be honest with you. And even on Thursday was like a bloodbath in the stock market and the bond market. Usually we see it's a teeter-totter effect where if stocks are doing well, bonds aren't doing as well. And then if bonds are doing really well, stocks aren't doing well. Right now, everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. But when I say that, what am I talking about? So we've hit below a ceiling of resistance in the bond market, meaning that we've dipped below a real comfortable level. Right now, we're at about the same level as interest rates were around May 19th, which was our worst day in the market in the last couple of months. And then prior to that, the last time we hit these levels, we're really, let's just see where we are at 99. You're talking about getting back into May of 2025, even May, June, August of 2025. So not really great. I don't think that this is going to last too long. I'm hoping we have a dead cat bounce and we're going to start springing back. But as of right now, this week was not a positive week for mortgage rates. We saw the average 30-year fixed go from 6.44 to about 6.6%. I think it's at 6.58 nationally. But mortgage rates have come up a little bit. Are they horrible? Heck no, they're under 7%. So they're not horrible. FHA, VA, a little bit lower than conventional loans. So why are people still buying right now? Because they see that when interest rates do this, sellers are willing to make better deals. You can always refinance later. So this is one of the things that we find that people really look for in opportunities. So most buyers are going to shy away from a higher interest rate. So they just won't buy. But investors they don't care, because they know they can refinance and they know they're going to get a return on their investment. So honestly, I'm seeing some opportunities that are out there right now, and I want to go over some of them. So let's first talk about Hometown Heroes. So Hometown Heroes is a program from the state of Florida. It's a stimulus funded program that Ron DeSantis put in place. We've now got $50 million available. Now, the people that can get this right now, the qualified people for Hometown Heroes that can get this program, I want to go over this because it's really important that you have a clear understanding as to who actually qualifies for it. First responders, firefighters, healthcare workers, school employees, court employees, public safety employees, child care workers, active military, National Guard, U.S. Reserves, veterans. But a veteran, if you're out of the service, you can still qualify, but you must be employed full-time by a Florida-based employer under the current funding cycle. So if you are retired military, it doesn't qualify you for it. Now, if you're active military, It does. Now, what do you get? You get 5% of the loan amount up to $35,000 towards your closing costs or down payment, or pay it toward prepaids. You can use it for a lot of things. Now, what you can't do with this loan is buy down the interest rate or pay points. It doesn't allow it. The state of Florida comes up with the interest rate. It's the same across the board for everybody. Now, this is for single family residents. You can do manufactured homes. Manufactured homes are going to require a little higher credit score. Single family residents would require a 640 minimum credit score. Now, how do you get the money for down payment assistance? It's a zero interest mortgage. It's a 30-year deferred mortgage. There's no payments on it. You only would have to pay that money back if you sold the home, refinanced the home, or no longer occupied it as a primary residence. So again, 640 minimum credit score. You must use a lender that's qualified. Of course, yours truly, the loan arranger, is very well qualified and on the Hometown Heroes preferred lender list. You must meet county income limits. You must purchase as a primary residence. You must work full-time for a Florida-based employer. All right. So here's a great point to this. Most people think that monthly payments may be a problem, but they aren't. So the biggest obstacle in today for people is down payment, closing costs, prepaid taxes, and insurance. So Hometown Heroes really covers that. And if you use my real estate rebate program and I refer you to one of our qualified and pre-vetted real estate agents, they then give my clients up to 25% of their buy-side commission, up to $10,000. So 25% of the buy-side commission, that also goes back to you in addition to the Hometown Heroes benefits. Now, there's more. So you get that discount off that. But what I do is I also instruct my buyer's agents to negotiate from the seller additional closing costs to be paid for you. So that could be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I got a client right now getting $21,000 in closing costs paid by the seller. So now why would we do that if Hometown Heroes is already giving you money for it? So then we use the seller's money to pay closing costs, and we use the down payment assistance money to reduce the loan amount. So then your payments are lower. And we use the realtor's contribution to do the same thing. I've created a perfect little scenario for you. Let me just give you an idea. On a $375,000 purchase using Hometown Heroes on an FHA loan, this is on an FHA loan. If you bought a 375 house, you would be into that home for about $4,400. Now, if you use my real estate rebate program on a 375 house, that would be, let's just do the math on this. We got 375, and let's just say the realtor is getting a 3% commission. That's $11,250, and then 25% of that is $2,800. So $2,825 minus $4,400 means you're into this for about $1,600. You're into a $375,000 house. Come on. You couldn't get an apartment. It would be more than your first and last month's rent. 407-706-3313. That's 407-706-3313 for the Orlando area, or 813-213-4009 for my Tampa Bay boners out there, and all the way down to Cape Coral, all the way up to Lakeland. I got people listening to me in Sebring. So listen, you should not have any concern about your down payment. And Hometown Heroes sets the interest rate right now. That's on an FHA loan. On a conventional loan, you'd be pretty much no money out of pocket. On a VA loan, pretty much no money out of pocket. This is all going to cover it all. It's insane how great this program is. Now, are there drawbacks to Hometown Heroes? Yeah, there's some drawbacks to it, but there's more benefits. For instance, it's the only down payment assistance program that allows you to have a cosigner. So if your income wasn't quite enough to qualify, you could bring a cosigner on. Your regular Hillsborough down payment, Pinellas down payment, they won't let you do that. Okay. Now, downside, the forgiveness is that it doesn't go away. In other words, if you kept the house for 30 years, you'd end up repaying the money at some point, but that's zero interest. So do I consider that a downside? Yeah, it's not really a downside, because if you gave me all the money I wanted for zero interest and I didn't have to pay it back for 30 years, I'll take all you can give me. So I'm fine with that. Here's another thing that I find can be a bit of a downside. So let's just say interest rates on this right now are around 6.5%. If in a year from now interest rates drop to 5.5%, you're going to want to refi. You'd have to pay down the debt. You'd have to pay back the money you got for down payment assistance on it. But you don't have to pay back the realtor rebate. You don't have to pay back the closing costs we got the seller to pay. You don't have to do any of that. So there's a lot of positives involved in this. Hometown Heroes, easy. Go to webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. Get your application made right then and there. So we can get you fixed up, and you can close pretty quick. But listen, these funds are limited. They're not going to last forever. So get started right away. If you have questions about it, or you're just curious if you qualify, give us a call, 813-213-4009, or get your application started at webringyouhome.com. We always start off with a soft credit pull. You don't have to worry about anybody affecting your credit negatively. We're here to make sure the process works really good for you. Okay. So Hometown Heroes. Now, are there other down payment assistance programs? There are. And the Lone Ranger does pretty much all of them. Anyone that I have vetted and I like. There are some down payment assistance programs out there that I'm just not crazy about, or the hurdles are too high for people. They sound good when you say them fast, but I'm not crazy about them. If I don't like them, I don't do them, because I don't do them because they don't benefit you. So now, why don't all lenders do Hometown Heroes? I'm going to tell you why. There's really no money in it for the lender. I don't make a living off of doing a Hometown Heroes transaction for you. It's very skinny, but that's okay, because I'm helping heroes, and that's what it's all about. I absolutely love it. I sponsored an event down in Daytona this week for kids beating cancer with a baseball team, and they had the Volusia County Sheriffs playing against the Volusia County firefighters, and the firefighters just cleaned their clock. I'm telling you. Yeah, it was a really good time. Really good time. We like to do things for people that work for us. So all of you heroes, that the police, the firefighters that are listening to this, you're eligible for this. It is a program. There we go. We've got a caller calling in there. I'm going to have to take that call on a break right now. We got to cut for a short break. But here's one other thing. If you are feeling a little chunky right now, you feel like you could stand to lose a few pounds, I went to a place called Age Rejuvenation, and they helped me lose 77 pounds, and I've kept it off for 2 years. Now, listen, I went to a lot of different clinics before that, and I lost weight, but it wasn't sustainable. I'm telling you, the amount of money that this program cost me, I saved in food and alcohol. It's the truth. But you can get amazing discounts. You just tell them the Lone Ranger sent you, or do me a favor, call or text 813-213-4009. I'll connect you with my friends at Age Rejuvenation. You go make an appointment. I guarantee you, you will absolutely do this program. I'm also on their testosterone program, and I'm going to tell you something. That's a game changer, buddy. If for all you guys and girls out there that are over 45 years old, you better have it checked, because it is a game changer. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Lone Ranger Show. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot to cover. 407-706-3313 or webringyouhome.com.